So Warren, here we are, just down a bit from one of the shelter belts that you've created. We talked a little bit before about some of those co-benefits and some of the reasons and some of the outcomes that you're hoping to achieve with your environmental plantings project. At this stage, are you starting to see some of those benefits emerge?
Yeah, absolutely, Tim. Like we spoke a little bit about before, we're certainly seeing less waterlogging lower in the landscape. The other thing that we're seeing in the trees is a range of insects starting to come back in there that previously we wouldn't have seen before.
Yeah.
And birds reappearing.
Yeah, I just heard them. Fantastic.
Yeah. In terms of the livestock behind us, you can see, they're camped under an old paddock tree.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of those old paddock trees are dying. So we want to look at starting to replace some of them going forward as well for shade and shelter.
Yeah.
But also the trees that we've planted here will provide shade and shelter for the livestock going forward, which will increase the productivity of the livestock both in summer and winter.
Yeah, for sure. And the trees themselves, we're talking sort of 3 years down the track. Have you had to deal with any sort of mortality and replanting, or they've done okay?
A couple of spots.
Yep.
I mean, these areas where we are here, we've had 90% plus survival rate.
Oh wow!
Which is fantastic. We're nearly up to full cover. We've been slashing between the rows just to keep the grass down.
Yeah.
But we won't be able to this year because we won't be able to get the tractor down between the rows. Generally, the survival's been really good. But we also put that down to the preparation.
Yeah.
So, ground prep is critical.
Yes.
So you're obviously spraying out the competition in year one, and then we used a specifically built tree planter to put the seedlings in.
Right.
And that does a fantastic job in terms of getting the seedlings into the ground and up and away in that year one.
Sure. And then clearly, as the trees mature and that understory matures, then as you said, you will be able to start to reintroduce your livestock, whether it's for crash grazing or from time to time for shade and shelter, which I think is just fantastic, and speaks to your idea of this is really enhancing productivity, enhancing animal welfare outcomes as well. One of the things that I've heard a fair bit is really around the notion with the environmental plantings project, the notion of trade-offs. So if I plant trees on farm, doesn't mean that my current capacity is going to go down, doesn't mean that my productivity is going to go down. Admittedly, it's still early doors for you, 3 years into the project, but what's been your experience so far?
So far we've not seen any drop-off in productivity across the rest of the farm. So essentially we've taken about 35 hectares out of our roughly 500 hectares of arable country.
Yeah.
So we've taken 35 hectares out that we've put into the trees. We've not seen any drop-off in productivity. Part of that is due to what we're doing in our ag zone.
Sure.
So we're putting perennials in there as well. So we're also adding productivity into those that were traditionally annual pastures.
Yeah.
So we're getting a longer grades there anyway. But I think certainly what we've been able to achieve, particularly on those lower areas in the landscape where we're having the waterlogging issues, we've increased the productivity down there. So that, I think, the productivity we gain in those lower areas has probably offset the productivity we've lost by putting those trees higher in the landscape.
Yeah, so I guess it's for yourself, it's really looking at the environmental plantings project within the context of a broader land management strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it always was from day one.
Yeah.
It was about rehydrating the landscape and making it more productive. And for us, the carbon project was really a side benefit.